morning, everyone. My name is Steve Peterson, and I'm very happy to be here this morning to talk about osteoarthritis and how it impacted my life. And if I may, I'll begin with a brief history. I'm 62 years of age, born and raised in Seattle, Washington. Have a wonderful life partner of 36 years, Mary Lynn. And she and I both have small businesses, and we're engaged right now in a major remodel of our primary residence. If my mom could be here, she'd be happy to inform everyone that I did away with walking and just started running at about 11 months of age, and I think that's a pretty deft description of what my active lifestyle was in my formative years. My school years involved all of the activities that one would engage in normally, plus all of the three sports: baseball, football, basketball. And as I was getting older, I introduced, especially living in the Pacific Northwest, introduced snow skiing, water skiing, started road biking, and became just enthusiastically involved in the great out of doors. Upon meeting Mary Lynn, she and I engaged in more mountaineering, light mountaineering. I eventually climbed Mount Rainier, enjoyed high alpine adventure. I mean, we've shared so many wonderful, wonderful hikes in different parts of this country, both north, south, east, and west. And I became what I thought to be just almost invincible. I added even additional activities. Usually mid-20s, I think our activity levels begin to slow down a little bit. For me, they began to increase. I enjoyed racket sports. I started playing racquetball, pickleball, tennis, and then my favorite sport, basketball. As technologies developed, I started bringing in mountain biking into my life as the road biking as well. And then, of course, you have to have windsurfing and indulge in all of these activities. And I really did have this naive sense of complete invincibility. And that invincibility ended in my 43rd year. I was skiing with a group, happened to be a group of physician friends in Alta, Utah. It was a wonderful, wonderful week of skiing at Deep Powder every night. I know Dr. Stedman enjoys skiing. Deep Powder every night, sunny days. No one could make it up the valley, and so we had literally that mountain to ourselves. Each day, in fact, it was the first day, I noticed on the chairlift, I started rubbing my knee, my left knee, and I had severe swelling. No real pain with it, but very, very severe swelling. And I was, of course, part of the culinary treat of that. So I was up, standing on my leg, tried icing, tried a lot of aspirin to no avail, and it was finally on the 7th day in these great conditions where I could not go back out. But as always before, I honestly thought, I'll just get better. I had had other moments earlier in my life where I had been injured, but I always got better and I always got stronger. This was not the case this time. In fact, after the ski holiday, I went back to my exercise regimen. I began to have atrophy of the muscles surrounding the knee. I developed a popliteal or Baker's cyst and realized with the help of my physician's friends that I should consult an orthopedic physician in an endeavor to see if the problem could be alleviated. It was determined after assessment of the condition that I should have surgery, and that surgery I still remember vividly to this day. It was a little over 18 years ago, and it was like a fantastic voyage in my knee. And as we went by the medial meniscus, I got very excited because opalescent in color, it just looked beautiful. And as we went by the ACL, I got equally excited because it looked tremendous. And then there was the quintessential moment of my life. As we got to the lateral side of my knee, there was just shards of tissue floating where there should have been a meniscus. And this kind of had been a jocular venue, this operating room, and it went dead quiet because everyone knew what we were looking at, including myself. After the surgery, though, again, I still thought there was the possibility that I can get stronger, I can get better, and I was very, very positive about those aspirations. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I had further atrophy of the muscles around the knee. The Baker's cyst was getting bigger. I was now having quite a little bit of pain. And on resulting visits with the doctor, I would ask him, what can we do? What can we do? And one of the final visits I had with him, he described my knee as being a bank account of which there was only withdrawals and no more deposits. And my heart just sank, and I thought to myself, that's unacceptable. I just won't live with that. And so finally, with body language that I still remember, the doctor said, okay, let's try this. And this was one of the modalities which I was so excited about talking about here today, and that was with Dr. Stedman, and it was bracing, and it was an unloader brace. And I was professionally fit for this brace, brought it home, and I put it in the corner of our bedroom. And the reason I did, and this is probably the most important thing I have to say here today, is I had finally come to the realization or the acceptance that everything that I enjoyed in life, everything that was important in my life, literally was lost. And I was dragging those people around me and the one that I loved the most, my wife, Mary Lynn, into the same pit. So, put the brace in the corner. We were living on acreage at the time. I went out to do some work associated with just maintaining it. And my loving wife of 18 years came out, and I could tell by her demeanor I was putting that brace on. And I did. I put it on very haphazardly, threw it on over some sweats that I was wearing, and took what they call the dynamic force strap and pulled it as tight as I could. And she swiveled around, and I went back to what I was doing. And it was about a half hour later, and I'm going, okay, this feels different. And so I put the brace on, and literally it was just a sentinel moment in my life, because it absolutely gave me almost immediate relief. And so what I did with that is I started introducing a physical activity back into my daily routine, and I found that by wearing the brace I could get back to the sports that I was missing. I actually, and a lot of people say that you will have muscle atrophy wearing a brace. It was just the opposite for me. I was growing muscle back. I was able to, after a few days, call the physician and say, you know, why didn't we do this first? And there was dead silence on the phone. And he actually had me come in. We did take some x-rays, and we found that the brace was actually unloading my lateral compartment and creating the relief that I needed where there was a missing meniscus. And bracing absolutely and quintessentially has changed my life in a very, very positive manner. Without bracing, I can't even know where I'd be. I can tell you what would not have occurred. I would not have hiked and rock climbed in Tasmania. I would not have ridden thousands and thousands of miles on a road bike and a mountain bike. I would not have enjoyed, you know, the high alpine regions of Washington and different resources in different areas of the country. I would not have been able to share trips with my wife. I would not have been able to enjoy a 3.5-hour walk around Manhattan yesterday. To give you an idea, the brace went on yesterday morning at 7:30, and I took it off approximately 9:30 at night, and that's not unusual. I wear it every day. It has just been an absolute blessing in my life. And I think of others, you know, not near as active as myself, but those who just maybe want to even simply mow the lawn. Or what about those who just want to play with their grandkids? Just simple little endeavors, just even going out and going to an arboretum and walking in the springtime, just simply going outside and maybe feeling the wind on your face. I've been absolutely blessed, and I hope others will be too, so that they can embrace life and enjoy it such as I've been able to do. Thank you very much.